everyone! Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. My name is Melissa.
I'm Josephine.
In case many of you have not heard about Delegate, Delegate is an online marketplace that connects anyone that's looking to plan an event to different types of event vendors. Today, we have over 2,000 vendors, and we are a one-stop platform for users to book for event services globally. We hope that you learned something from today's webinar, and in case you're looking to check us out on our site, it's www.justdelegate.co. Because of our constant communication with all our vendors, we just wanted to start by sharing some common problems that vendors are facing at the moment. Feel free to share in our chat room how these problems might be relevant to you and your business. The most important problem which vendors seek our assistance for is having insufficient leads for their business, which is very much in line with reaching out to new potential customers out of their normal customer base. Later on in the presentation, we'll be sharing more about how to generate, capture, and qualify these leads for your business, and this will allow you to better review your current sales process. A common difficulty faced by vendors is not knowing how to market themselves. Vendors are usually busy focusing on their craft and executing an event, and marketing can sometimes be a full-time job, and there might be a lack of expertise for this. Sometimes you might even consider hiring an external agency or a freelancer to assist, given the amount of social media management required these days. Event budgets these days are decreasing due to increasing costs, and our vendors have recently expressed that they are struggling to meet with these decreasing budgets. We all struggle to keep up with technology nowadays, and the use of technologies such as social media platforms, CRM softwares are becoming a lot more important, and it's also very important for vendors to keep updated on how to implement these technologies into their day-to-day tasks. Another common concern expressed by vendors is not knowing how to reach out to a new customer segment. This can be extremely difficult because vendors often focus on their core customer group or event type and do not know how to scale their business with new customers. We'll be sharing some tips later on how you can better tackle this. Lastly, there seems to be a lack of collaboration opportunities with other brands that might target a similar demographic. From our experience, there are many different ways you can choose to partner up with other brands, but the idea is being open to it. How we plan to actually visualize a structure is to view it through our proposed framework, as you can see here. We're not going to touch so much on the business strategy, as this is pretty unique to each individual business. You would know best your business model, your unique selling points, and your competitive analysis. Today's conversation will focus more on the sales and lead generation and tips on branding and marketing. When you're looking to brand yourself, I think it's really important to understand messaging and showcasing what your unique proposition is. You should be able to immediately showcase the value that you're providing to your customer. Just some pointers. For key messages to be concise as possible, ideally presenting this with one sentence. And of course, to provide a key message that matters to your audience, not just a logical or rational level, but also on an emotional level. Some companies such as Airbnb has done this very well. This will also help with key statements being memorable as well. Messaging is extremely dependable on the target audience's unique needs, priorities, issues, terminologies, relationship to the organization, and other distinguishing factors that might help the messaging better communicate with the audience. As everyone knows nowadays, content is king. By having a well set up content strategy, you will have a significant advantage over your targeted audience. There will also be a higher potential to convert these leads to customers. Different target groups usually use different networks, so it's important to figure out which networks are more appropriate for your social media strategy. The goal here isn't necessarily to be active on all networks, and this is often a common mistake done by many brands, but to be active on the ones that matter most for your users. For example, younger demographics tend to use Instagram and Snapchat, while older demographics focus more on Facebook. We tend to believe more in collaboration over competition, and partnering up with other businesses that might have similar branding or who have an audience you're looking to target could be beneficial. We have seen that partnerships are a good low-cost method of acquiring new customers and has had a proven ROI. It's really important for every business to generate a sufficient amount of leads and to understand the sales process. We want to make sure we have a good funnel of leads and a new stream of customers discovering about your business. That brings us to a sales funnel and touching a bit on inbound marketing. Inbound marketing is about attracting prospects and customers to your business through relevant content. This can actually be done through various methods, such as capturing leads through web forms, on social media platforms, and on your website. One thing that we would like to highlight is about having a very clear call to action. Your call to action must be really clear and you have to make sure it appears above the fold. A few things on your call to action. Be really specific on what you're offering. Highlight the main benefit. And it's a free trial, bold the word free. Use images because users always look out for visual representation of the offer and it's obviously more convincing because no one has time to read the text at first. Make sure your package title or offer is attractive. In terms of design, use a different color for your call to action and make sure it stands out. And always direct these call to actions with hyperlinks because users are actually lazy to find out where that hyperlink actually leads to. Of course, since this webinar is brought to you by Delegate, we'll also be sharing how platforms like ours can help you generate more leads. One thing about your sales process is that it's important to invest in lead qualification. Time and resources are always of the essence, and a sales qualification process is really important in your sales funnel. This can only be done by understanding your customers better. As you can see from a typical sales funnel on the right, you can simply look at lead qualification being the second stage, where capturing a lead is on top and selling being at the bottom. I'd also like to share some typical problems faced by users who are planning out events, which we have seen on Delegate. Users often have the problem of overspending because they tend to not fully understand the breakdown of what they're spending for the event. It's also really frustrating for them to communicate with vendors on multiple platforms, and there also seems to be a paradox of choice of not knowing the reason why to hire one vendor over another. Of course, because users tend to have other things to do as well, time management seems to be an issue, so platforms such as Delegate really impact their lives significantly.
So hello, I'm Josephine. Just continuing on from Melissa, I'll be focusing more on helping out with the user side with Delegate. So starting off with the first problem, as Melissa mentioned, it's overspending and not budgeting correctly. So how Delegate can help with this is to fully utilize the properties section we have on the vendor profile. So features such as the minimum budget are important so that users can already make their first choices through a first glance on the vendor profile without actually taking more time to further inquire with the vendors themselves. This actually saves time both for the vendors and the users and improves overall efficiency. Secondly, it's a frustration over multiple communication points. So event organizers can sometimes forget the details that they negotiated with the vendors beforehand because they are contacting multiple vendors at the same time. Therefore, through the message dashboard that Delegate provides, users can now contact all vendors on one platform so that all messages can be seen on one screen, and this helps users to be better organized. The third problem is about the paradox of choice between vendors. And within this, choosing the right venue is extremely important. As a vendor, to be listed on Delegate as a venue provider and get maximum leads, it's a lot more credible to put up as many photos for users to see and fill out your amenities and properties section accurately. For example, the minimum spending, the maximum number of people standing and sitting down, and the amenity section, such as if you have speakers or projectors in your venue, or if you provide halal options or not. Something new we also have for our venue partners is that they also have the option to have a 360 video to be put up on their profile. This is a feature that saves a lot of time with site visits, as users can explore the venue directly through the website. These are all important details for users to know and see right away if your venue is the best fit for them. As for the last problem, to have better time management, it's essentially the whole Delegate platform, as Delegate is a one-stop solution for users to discover and book vendor services all on one platform. Now, moving on to outbound marketing. Although it's expensive and quite difficult to track, it's still very important and has been proven to be a good sales accelerator till this day. A few ways to do this is to do advertisements by doing campaigns and engagements such as competitions and giveaways on social media, for example, and a more traditional one, which is cold calling. Lastly, direct newsletters using software such as MailChimp or Sendinblue are also quite important for outbound marketing. Building a community is a good idea for retention and engagement. So specific Facebook groups are good for targeting a specific audience for your offer. Another example would be Telegram groups, which are becoming more and more popular these days. It's also important to revisit past leads, and in order to do this, you have to be sure that you have your own customer database. One tip is to be able to use Delegate to reach out to your interested users, as you can see on the right side of the screen. Lastly, for the sales process, users can use Delegate as an end-to-end solution from inquiry to booking. And now to end off, we would just like to mention a few features on Delegate that can be used to help out your business. The first one is event portfolios. These are albums that vendors can put up on their profiles in order to showcase the past events they have done. This really increases credibility as because users can see the past works and have a clear image of what the vendor can provide. Second one is the packages section, allowing more visibility in our platform, and we find that users are usually attracted to deals, which leads to more inquiries. Moving on to the third feature, which is a lead generation. As mentioned, you can use the message dashboard to see your real-time performance and see which users are interested in you, for you to do some outreach to them. Lastly, we also provide marketing exposures, such as social media posts, blog posts, newsletters, and photo shoots for our vendors. So thank you guys. This is the end of our webinar today. In order to sign up and to become our vendor, you can just go on to www.justdelegate.co and become a vendor. The link is also provided for you at the bottom as reference. And right now, we're actually opening up to a Q&A session. And I've already seen now that some of you have asked us questions. So we'll just go ahead with that. So the first question is, what is your targeted market?
So our targeted market is separated into 60% corporate and 40% personal. And within personal users, we are seeing a growing number of weddings being planned through Delegate. So if these type of events are something that you're looking to target, Delegate will be the perfect platform for you.
The second question we have is the number of unique visitors to our web daily. So currently we have around 2,000 visitors daily. And then the third questions are there any other information that can help us understand your company profile? So usually our vendors have really specific concerns about their business related to how we can help them and using our platform to really maximize their traffic and help them get leads. So if you guys have any specific questions, please just feel free to email me at Josephine, JOSEPHINE @justdelegate.co. So I can just answer you personally as well. The last question that we have here is, how much does it cost to sign up? So it's actually free to sign up on Delegate initially, but there are just a few premium add-on features that are paid, such as getting more marketing exposure like blog posts or newsletters or photo shoots, or also having unlimited credits. And these are all things that you will have to pay to get these features. Yeah. So I can see that we're running out of time right now. So I would just like to take the last question. So someone asked us, do you charge commission? We actually don't charge commission on Delegate. However, please note that we will charge a 5% transaction fee if the vendor and the user both decide to go through our payment gateway, Stripe. And some of you may be wondering how you can get access to this PowerPoint. So we'll be sending these slides out to all of our attendees today. And again, if you do have any more questions, please feel free to email me at josephine@justdelegate.co. Thank you so much again for attending our webinar today. It was our pleasure to share with you more about our platform and how we can help you get more event leads. Thank you.